Hello, everybody. It is Cliff London, and let me tell you something. It is good to be back. This video should be relatively brief, but I do want to talk about this movie that you see going on behind you. And that movie is entitled AJ and the Queen. Now, let me tell you something about this movie. I have never been so happy to be wrong about a movie in my life. This movie was not usually my cup of tea. In fact, I only watched the movie because I thought I was going to be able to give it a very scathing review about how it was indoctrinating children and how this little boy shouldn't be in this movie. But on the contrary, I was very, very, very wrong. And I have no problem admitting exactly how wrong I was about this movie. So, anyway, just a brief synopsis. The character of Robert, also known as Ruby Red, has saved up $100,000 and has dreams of opening her own drag club with her partner. Turns out the partner turns out to be a piece of shit and takes her for everything she has. So instead of opening up her own club, she has to keep working, which means she has to go on tour from New York to Texas, playing different venues. Also along for the ride on this journey is her or him or his or whatever roommate, who is also one of my favorite characters, and the character of AJ. AJ is their upstairs neighbor's daughter, and the upstairs neighbor, who is the mom, is a drugged out. She's a druggie. So she gets evicted, eventually picked up by the cops, and for a while, AJ is squatting upstairs above Ruby Red, aka Robert Lee, downstairs. Okay, so she's above them. So she overhears him talking about his show and going to Texas. So AJ decides to stow away on his RV. Now that wasn't even really a spoiler because that's just the very, very tip of the iceberg. So I'm just going to say that so a lot of great misadventures ensue, and the ride through the RV from New York all the way to Texas. Oh, I left out one important detail. The reason why AJ wants to go to Texas, the reason why she stows away on his RV, is because she has a grandfather, Pop Pop, that's in Texas. And she thinks if she goes to Texas, she can live with her Pop Pop, and when her mom gets out of whatever situation that she's in, that she will come to visit her in Texas. And that is AJ's larger plan in this whole fiasco. So now, the character of Robert, aka Ruby Red, I just have to say that very well done, RuPaul. Very well done, RuPaul. I mean, he breathes non-SJW life into just a great story about two people. Two people, regardless of what you may think, what I may think, this is a great story. I mean, if anybody, this is not my first foray into this type of material. Like I said, I'm a movie buff, and like I said, I watched this in totally intentions to hate on it profusely, but I can't hate on it. It's actually pretty wonderful journey that you go through with these characters. Also, I don't know if have I been saying movie? I hope not, because this is just season 1 of this show. I apologize if I've been saying movie so far. I don't think I have, but if I have, I am sorry. This is season 1, and I hope that Netflix picks up a season 2, because I do want to see what happens, but I will, what happens next season. But throughout the course of the show, while they're going through this journey from New York to Texas, her partner, or a former partner that ripped her off, gets wind that he went to the police. And so at the same time that she's touring with AJ, she's got this guy on her tail wanting to kill her. So that also is another interesting layer that's added to the story. And I have to say that, there were a few things in the film that I did not agree with. And I thought to myself, oh shit, here it comes. Here comes the propaganda. Here comes the indoctrination. And it was, I would say, but it was minimal. And the difference between it and other things is that I didn't feel like it was the writer beating me over the head with it. I felt like it was the character's point of view, a character that I liked, and I could, with that character, I could say we agree to disagree. But I still was pulling for him despite that. Like, it didn't upset me enough to where it turned me off towards the character, because it was like, okay, this guy, he would think that way. But what it also did was, I'm getting off on the tangent, but what I'll talk about, okay, so there's a scene, backtrack a bit here before I go on. There's a scene in the film, there's a scene in the show where AJ's in a girl costume, as she should be, and the boy is in a boy costume. And they do, and they kind of portray the little boy as weird, awkward, and long story short, he decides he wants to wear the girl costume. The boy's father sees this, stops the little performance right there, then and there. Now, what I really liked about this was that they did not make the rednecky dude, because they did not make him this evil person, which I thought was really, really great. It was almost like he was this good, decent man that had just this knee-jerk reaction of seeing his son in a dress, and it was something that he wasn't cool with. But it wasn't like, didn't get violent. You didn't even hate the man. And that's what I call like real writing, because it wasn't trying to say, white man evil, hey, white man this, white man that. No, it would, like I said, it was just very well done. You felt like you were along with the ride for the character, even when these things came up, as opposed to, this is the writer's time to beat you over the head. Those fucking shitheads that fucked up Star Wars could learn a thing or two about writing from fucking RuPaul. What does that tell you? Right? Rian Johnson, as Nerderotic calls him. Fucking Jar Jar Abrams, as Nerderotic calls him. It's so true. He hits it right on the nose. But anyway, you guys, if you happen to see this, which I know you won't, but if you happen to do, you need to take some lessons from this dude. And yeah, I will say, yeah, he's a better writer than the both of you. But once again, I will say, if you are willing to last through at least 2 episodes, you will be taken on an emotional journey that will provoke thoughts, ask questions, and take you on an emotional journey. And regardless of what you think sexually, religiously, just try to put it aside for a second and enjoy a wonderful story about a man who's trying to heal, and in turn heals someone else, and in turn is healed himself. It's about courage. It's a story about love. It's a story about redemption. And it's a story about always trying to see the brighter things in life. And I'm going to tell you something. If the leading character of Robert, a.k.a. Ruby Red, can find a way to keep going, maybe we all can too. All right, that's it for now, everybody. Please, if any of you have time and decide to watch AJ and the Queen, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Again, to my subscribers, thank you. I hope you like this video. And please, if you see this show, or if you've already seen the show, please tell me what you think in the comments, whether you loved it, whether you hated it. I'd love to talk about this, because as I thought I would hate it, but I ended up actually loving it, and I will be waiting for season 2. Anyway, remember, there is no fate but what we make for ourselves. Oh, haha. San Francisco. San Francisco. KC got in that ass like a bike with no seat. I stole that from Jericho Green because he said that they would get into KC's ass like a bike with no seat, but that's not what happened. Maybe they did for a quarter or two, but then the tables were turned around. Anyway, please rate, please comment, please share, please subscribe. Go Chiefs. Have a good evening, everybody, and thank you for watching. Watch fucking AJ and the Queen. Have an open mind. Good night.